Hey everyone, welcome to the drive home. I'm Kristen.
I'm Megan, hey.
And tonight we are talking about Prometheus, and we just got back from seeing it, opening, day for it. It was packed.
Yeah, the theater was extremely crowded.
We were very close.
We had a little trouble getting seats too, actually.
A lot of trouble getting seats. We also didn't want the 3D showing, so we did not see it in 3D, so we can't.
Yeah, like Men in Black 3, we can't really comment on the quality of the 3D. Although, in all honesty, looking at it in 2D, it doesn't... There are certain parts, I suppose, that would look really cool in 3D, like with the holographic projections and everything like that. But apart from that, this isn't really one you need to see in 3D.
Overall, what'd you think?
Oh my god, so good. It's one of those things because, it's Ridley Scott, and it's a throwback to the original Alien series. Very much so. So I wasn't really sure what to expect, especially since there was all this sort of conflicting information with their viral marketing campaign. It's like, it's an Alien prequel. No, it's not. It's a standalone thing. Well, it's a standalone movie, but it exists within the same world. All this different conflicting information, so I really didn't know what to expect. But overall, that was a really good Alien. Like, not Alien with a capital A, like Alien with a lowercase a.
Not the franchise, but an extraterrestrial film. Not E.T.
But yeah, I guess we can say it exists within the same world as Alien for sure.
Yeah, it definitely gets there, and then there's certain sections of it that you see it. It was really good and very intense. It gets you from the beginning. It starts off with
almost disturbing image.
This it's sort of a man, but not really.
It goes through this really sweeping, beautiful landscape and waterfalls and everything like that, and then you get this really sort of, I don't want to say gory, but yeah, this really sort of disturbing image of.
And you kind of meet these, extraterrestrials a little bit at the beginning, but then it goes into the humans we get to know, and you see in the trailer, so you get to meet. Our main character, who is very reminiscent of a Sigourney Weaver. Mm-hmm. Very much so. And
Jinx.
Great. And her boyfriend, who are archaeologists.
Yeah, she's Dr. Shaw and he's Dr. Holloway, and they're archaeologists or paleontologists or something along those lines. And it starts off with them in Scotland, and they come across an ancient cave mural, from prehistoric times, and in it, they make this little presentation to the crew when they get going in space. Is that all across the world, through all these different time periods, there's the same sort of mural that ancient civilizations who had no contact with each other kept coming across. And so when they find this one in Scotland, they convince the Wayland Corporation, I think it was?
Yeah, Wayland.
The Wayland Corporation to fund a trip to this star system that's featured in all of the paintings, and they get a crew together and they go travel with it. And so we have Charlize Theron.
And the Prometheus comes from, that's the name of the ship that they're on, that goes to this different
it's a planet, yeah.
To go and figure out if there is other life on there. And the ship is they have a captain who was very cool.
I liked the captain. The captain was cool.
He was great. And but basically Charlize Theron is the head person with this Wayland Corporation, and the guy who runs it, they have a little hologram presentation from him, and this isn't anything that you don't see within the first 10 minutes. And he said he's gonna die.
Yeah, it took them 2 years to get out. They were all in like hypersleep or whatever, and so he's like, by the time you hear this, I'll have been departed and everything like that. But I believed in this mission, and you guys go ahead and take it away.
We also meet Michael Fassbender's character David, who is not human. He's a robot. Let's just his performance of it, I thought, was great.
He was
Here's
fantastic.
A star that you hadn't heard of until right around X-Men, and now he's in everything.
Yeah, he's really having a good good year or two, I guess. Yeah, his career is definitely on a high note with all this stuff. So, and yeah, his performance in this was just phenomenal. And it's so great because he is a robot, and but like there's so much behind what he's doing, you feel like, and you're questioning, why is he acting the way he is, and like, what is the implication of him saying this because he's a robot, and all the sorts of other stuff, and it makes you really do feel like there is a lot more there than he's letting on. And so that's very interesting, just from a performance standard.
Yeah, and he was really great. I thought Charlize, I love her. She's
also having a good year.
She really is. Well, she's funny. I think she just gets to pick kind of what she wants, and she's just great in everything. She's very, if you actually write down her films, I mean, she's done a decent amount, but there's very few for how long she's been doing this. She takes breaks, and I think she just picks up where she wants, and she was great in it. And I gotta say the other Dr. Holloway and Dr. Shaw were great. And they're not, big. You get your A-list cast with just Charlize and
Fassbender,
and they're not the leads, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, definitely David plays a bigger role, I think, than Charlize's character. I think, he's certainly more of the focus. But no, our main character is Dr. Shaw. And, what she goes through when they go to this alien planet. Yeah,
you're following her the whole time. And that's what I like about Ridley Scott, too. He has a lot of very powerful females.
He and James Cameron, the guys who did Alien 1 and 2, they both know how to do strong female leads. And that's awesome. I wish more directors knew how to do that.
And I like this, too, because there are certain parts where the whole theater were laughing. It's a very tense movie. But there were, and I couldn't tell if it was meant to be funny.
To be funny or
we just found
disturbing.
It funny.
I think parts of it, well, first of all, there are some moments of levity in there because, again, this is a very intense movie. You sort of need a laugh here and there. And actually, David has a few of those. He was pretty funny when he wanted to be. Yeah. But, and very the captain,
dry
too.
Sense of humor.
Yeah. He was very British. But yeah, there were certain scenes where it gets a little, yeah, you're right, intense with violence and a little bit of gore too. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it because it comes out of nowhere, or because like the moment is like building up to it, when it finally happens, you laugh so you don't cry out, I think is the way it is.
Well, and I also, because the alien in this one compared to, and then there's going to be a lot of comparisons to Alien, I'm sure, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But the alien in here is very human-esque, and it doesn't make it scary. I didn't find
they're not menacing.
Part of it.
Because you look at the aliens in this movie, which are humanoid, and actually they are featured in the original Alien series. In the first Alien, they find this extraterrestrial corpse who's had one of the chest bursters, go through its chest, and and so that's there. And so what this movie does is it explores that alien race a little bit, not the chest bursting, black long-headed aliens that we know and love. We're focusing on like where this other guy came from. And so that
the other guy's not, I wouldn't want to meet this guy in an alley.
Oh no, they're definitely
skull. It was very Hulk. But like the Hulk, although you might be frightened, like, meeting him, he's not, I didn't think, he's not scary.
Well, they're not scary looking.
Yes, they're not
it's one of those
looking.
things where you wouldn't want to mess with them, and they're definitely menacing, but you're not gonna look at them like you would, like, well, one of the things about what makes the aliens so scary is because they're, for one, they are, it was all about what you couldn't see in the dark. And, this one, it's, when you see, this one, it would just be, a big dude. That's basically...
Yeah, it was it's like with too many steroids. a little bit.
It's like comparing a monster like to just a sort of bigger muscular man. That's sort of the comparison, I suppose.
But intense nevertheless. And
you still don't want to mess with them.
The thing is, although they're focusing on the existence, it didn't focus on him specifically. And I have to say, I loved all of the special effects, though. I would love to actually see the behind the scenes on how they created, they're in this other planet, which also has a spaceship in it, and you go through a bunch of different scenes that way. You gotta wonder, well, how much of this was green screen, and how much did they build out of the set and just maybe enhance it with computers, especially when you have an old school director like Ridley Scott. Who did it back in the
back in the day? Yeah. He knew what was up.
Well, and you look at that too. The old Alien movie and all of that. I personally think it still kind of holds up.
It does. It does hold up again because it all plays off of what you can't see, and what you make up in your mind is far scarier than what the actual monster turns out to be.
Well, just even the technology they use on the ship there. I don't think you look at too much of that. It's again, I haven't seen it in a while, so I have to kind of refresh it. But from what I remember, and also from the great movie ride at Disney World, that I've probably been on more frequently than I've seen the movie. The whole setting of all of it it's all very similar, and I liked all that technology.
So good set design, and there's a lot of good set design on here too. But with the original Alien, I hate to keep talking about this, but with just with the practical effects, what you see like physically there with the actor, I would venture to say probably maybe 8 times out of 10 can be far more effective than most CGI. Not all CGI, and granted, especially the CGI in this movie, oh my gosh, it was great. But that was one of the things that made the original Alien so cool, is because you did have, these set pieces and these animatronics, in there with the actors, and it just makes it that much more real. And you get a lot of that with this movie, too. You get a good blend of CGI and practical effects. Mm-hmm. So they did a really good job.
Oh, and speaking of characters again, I really liked the 2 side characters that... At the beginning, again, it's nothing. They go into the ship and they have to leave. These 2 guys are like, "I'm out of here." Those people that are just like, "Man, these people are crazy." Like these scientists, they're gonna find our makers, and I'm out. I like rocks. I liked. So 2 of these guys kind of peace out. But they get lost because they don't know where they're going.
It's so funny because I feel like
they were hilarious together. I liked.
They were a good pair. Was Guy Pearce one of them? Because Guy Pearce was in the movie. I think he was the guy with the glasses in that little pair. But it was I could be mistaken on that. But they played off each other very well because they were complete and total opposites. But at the same time, they're like, yeah, y'all are nuts. Like, we hate each other, but we're not staying here.
You guys are crazy. Screw you guys and go him. Which I thought was great. And then, of course, when they try to go home, they can't.
Yeah. And I feel like under normal movie circumstances, if they had chosen to leave, that would have been the smart thing had everybody left. But, because you choose to go off on your own, it's like, that's asking for it. And it is kind of funny, just looking at these sorts of movies, you can sort of just look at the cast and try. And I don't want to say this one did that a little bit, but, with these sorts of movies, you look at the cast and go, you're cannon fodder, you're alien chow. Yeah.
You can kind of...
And you can kind of pick that out.
What's going to happen.
It's... I don't want to say it's formulaic that way, but, that's just the sort of movie it is.
There were 1 or 2 things I felt like it messed with...
With your expectations a lot.
Yeah, and I don't want to give anything away that, but there was a certain part when it happened where we were talking about, like, it was so intense, but on the other hand, it was kind of comical with the,
yes, there was a part with Michael Fassbender near the end,
Yeah. That, well,
that
and I
took
don't
me-
know if it's because it's Michael Fassbender. I'm just kind of like, oh, Magneto. Shame.
But yeah, it's one of those things where at first you're like, whoa, and then you're like, oh.
Kind of funny, but it's not because it happened. So I really liked that. It was overall, you know, we were getting close to being too long. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts? It makes me really want to go back. Like, I wish I had sat down and watched at least, you know, the first two Alien movies again before coming back and watching this one. So it makes me want to pick those up and sit through them again. And yeah, this one, it stands on its own really well. I mean, and it integrates well because it does exist within the same world. It integrates really well with, you know, the other one that Ridley Scott did, but, you know, still stands on its own very well. But of course, any fan of the franchise is just going to sit there and love it.
I loved it. I thought it was really good. As we were discussing on the way back, it was one of my more favorite Alien movies this summer.
Yeah, of all the Alien movies this summer, this one's definitely the most intense.
And it kept me really, I felt at the edge of our seat. I mean, you know, our movie started at 8:10, and we didn't get, you know, we live across the street from a movie theater. We didn't get back till about 10:30.
It's over 2 hours.
It's over a 2-hour movie, and I didn't feel like we were there for that long, which I really liked. And yeah, anybody who liked the original Alien movie is gonna like this. I do know, I do have certain family members or close friends who are not big into sci-fi, and honestly, if you're not into that at all, I don't think you'll enjoy this unless you're a fan of like Charlize Theron or Michael Fassbender. I think it's definitely, I think if you're okay with it, you'll like it. And obviously, if you do like sci-fi, you're gonna love it.
Oh yeah, you'll eat this right up. This is
if you
great.
really can't get into that kind of world, this is probably not the right movie for you. If you
maybe Netflix it later on.
Maybe even then, like I'm gonna be honest, my mom doesn't like much sci-fi. I think she likes Alien though. I don't see her liking this. My grandpa would hate it. My grandpa doesn't like any of that kind of stuff. I have another close friend who he's not. When he saw the preview for this, he was like, "I don't think I'm going to see it." I'm like, "I'm totally seeing this with Megan."
Yeah, I know a couple people who like if they have to throw their suspension of disbelief out the window, you know, then like.
And there's parts of that too where, well, again, a certain character gets hurt. You're like, how was this person walking? There is no way in heck, unless
like on the one hand,
miracle drug that we don't know about,
which very possible it's in the future. But yeah, you do kind of look at this person and go, wow, you are really BA right now. I don't know if I should be sitting here and going, you can't do that, or if I should just sit back and applaud because you're still up and around.
and it wasn't a robot, so, that we know of. Yeah. But overall, yeah, I totally.
What do you think? Do you think you'll buy this when it comes out on DVD?
Possibly, actually, and it makes me want to buy the original Alien.
Yeah, I can definitely see them doing like a box set in the future.
Yeah, except I alphabetize my movies, and that means I'd have to move like all 350 of them.
Well, and that'd be kind of weird too, because it'd be Alien 1, 2, 3, and 4. Although I personally I can skip 3 and 4, and then yeah, stick with 1 and 2. But then Prometheus would be way down the way.
I like to keep them together, like Batman Begins next to Dark Knight. So
that makes sense.
But then I'd have to leave a spot at the beginning. A lot of stuff. But yeah, anyway, overall, I like it. I recommend it for anybody who likes that kind of movie.
Highly recommend it. This was a lot of fun.
Very cool. And you know, if you get a chance to watch any of our WonderCon coverage or just any WonderCon coverage, Charlize and Michael Fassbender are hilarious.
I thought we were just going to act it out.
Yeah. Actually, they have them act it out. I mean, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, that is, I mean, we talked about this a little bit with Battleship, and not to go on, but it is really cool getting to see the movies that we saw being advertised at WonderCon. It's really great, you know, after seeing the actors and directors talk about them, actually seeing the finished product and seeing all their hard work, you know, pay off. So that was really cool.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy the movie as much as we did. And we'll see you next time on the drive home. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Or day if you're listening today. Bye.